welcome back. Going through some of your ghostly encounters. We'll get around to them in a few minutes' time, but it wouldn't be the 6 o'clock show without a bit of food. So where do we start with this gorgeous grilled Halloween cake, Louise?
It's a grilled cake. Well, Dr. Rutger and myself teamed up and we said we need to make this super scary, and I like giving people a challenge. So we've all made Victoria sponges in the oven, but this is a grilled cake. Now, there is a lot of bits and pieces I want to show you. So I have done a little bit during the outbreak. So in this bowl here, I have got some really soft butter, and I whisked it together with some icing sugar and corn flour, plain flour, and some baking powder and egg yolks. And then in here, I have whisked egg white and some cast sugar. Do you want to put this over your head so you can spit? I'll do it. See? I did it once. I did it once on live TV, and I jumped up and down, and it fell on me. So I've always learned no one likes to show off. So anyway, I'm going to fold this in. Now, a lot of people get scared when you're said to fold in egg whites. So this is one of the best tips I can give any budding bakers out there. So for the first lot, you show it no mercy. So you just get your egg whites in and you just whip it. It's basically like you love this for training all of your people. You just need to get them to make this cake, Peter, and they'll have amazing biceps. And then the next bit of this, you show it a little bit more love. So slightly bit more gentle with that. And again, you don't have to worry about folding anything in. So I'm a little bit nicer with that, but it's still aerating. So this doesn't essentially rise up like a cake would. The baking powder in this will give it a little bit of height, but the main component in this is the actual egg whites. And then the last part here, if you're making this at home, I don't expect you to have 2 mixers. Just whip your the butter first and then wash the beaters, and then in a really clean bowl, do in your egg whites. So this is all nicely folded together. The important part here now is you need to divide it. I like precision, so I'd weigh this. So I did weigh this. So if you want to put one bowl on the scales, it's 575 grams is exactly half. Now, it's live TV, so I'm just going to eyeball this. I won't put this over your head because this will fall on you. So this is going to be 2-toned cake. So you could make just a regular white one, but why do that? So in one of the bowls here, I've got some cocoa powder, and I'm sieving it in. Cocoa powder tends sometimes to be just a little bit bally, so just sieving it in, you're not going to have any lumps. And then in the other bowl, which I'll leave this bowl, we need to go Halloweeny, so I'm going to add in some vanilla bean paste. This is gorgeous because it's a little there. It's 2 teaspoons. A little bit more than she planned, Brent. Let's just say you're going to definitely taste vanilla, but there's lovely vanilla seeds in there. And then I'm adding in some green. You can go as dark or as light as you want. And then I'm just going to fold that in.
Island green, Peter. Absolutely, Island green.
You need to be patriotic on this show. So you can make it any colour you want. If you don't want to add in a colour, you don't have to, but you have to.
Tradition.
It is Irish, yeah.
From here.
They used to carve, wasn't it, turnips? How does anyone to carve a turnip?
They used to carve turnips.
I can barely do a pumpkin.
Pumpkins.
That's
there's
difficult.
a workout for you.
That could be your stage 2. One is egg whites, jump up and down with them, and then carve out a pumpkin with the other hand. So that's just folded in there. Now, this is where we get a little bit technical, okay? So I'm not going to grill this in real time, because the show doesn't last that long.
No,
and we'd be a little bit bored.
Big episode tonight.
So I just get a dessert spoon or a teaspoon, and it's 2 heaped ones. So you can see this, it's fairly fluffy. And then what you need to do is, and the first one's always the hardest one, so you have to put this in a lined tin, so just a little bit of baking parchment in the bottom, and you make sure you get every single crevice of this, so it's like a thin pancake. And then you put this under a hot grill, so you preheat your grill. My grill's really hot, so I kind of just medium temperature it, and you grill it for 1 to 2 minutes. I did make a video of how to do this, so you actually can see the video of this, because and then once it gets really hot, when you add in the next layer, which would be the green layer, so you put that under the grill, 1 to 2 minutes. When it starts to bubble, it's ready. You take it out, and then you put on your green layer. But this starts to melt instantly because this is so hot. So you're back and forth. So put on a podcast while you're doing that. Now, the cake is cooked. So you turn it upside down, and a little decorating tip is whenever you're decorating, the bottom of the cake always becomes the top because it's always the straightest. And what I have here is I just have milk chocolate and some unsalted butter. If you're not going to cook this, I always use unsalted butter as a rule of thumb, and I just melt that over a pot of warm water or the microwave. So I'm going to pour this over here, and then to save the counter getting destroyed in your new kitchen that I can barely sit in, can I tell you? I've like the highest heels.
We have to get her a stand for
I have to show you, look how big these shoes are.
Yeah.
This is how big these shoes are.
There's a fire escape down the back of those shoes.
Still barely seen. So I'm just going to put this over here. Underneath here, you can put this on a grill rack or you can put this on a cake rack, whatever you have, and then just bring it down the sides. This acts as the glue for the easiest way you're ever going to ice this.
Okay.
So just make sure it goes around the sides, okay?
Okay.
So we got this done there. Next thing, you're going to love this. So you don't have to worry about rolling anything. We all have kids. Baking with kids, stressful, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
For our kids.
Yeah, they do.
Not massive. You're a baker, yeah?
Well, Debbie is, to be fair, she would spend hours baking if she could, but the two kids around, it's like
well, there's no stress.
everywhere.
I know.
No
It's
tears, because you see this icing, it's already rolled for you.
Oh, yeah.
So all you say to
That'd
the
be a bit
kids is,
mean.
come on, let's do some
Just
icing,
put it on.
kids. There's no tears because the rolling pin won't go or it's sticking to it. And this comes with a lovely...
Where do you get that?
in the shops. Peter will be selling his next venture out the back of a van.
Genius,
so you just put this over and then just peel it off, okay? And then what I do then is you just press it in with your hands and then just take it off here because we don't need this anymore. Now I'm probably going to like annihilate this cake. And then all you do is, this actually another really good tip. Could you hold that tray?
I can, yeah.
Might be to the end of the show, just don't take it personally. So then what you do is a pizza cutter is brilliant for trimming around the edge of an actual cake here. Sorry, Marlon.
Right.
I'll take you can
fine. I'll just leave it there.
just not enough space. I'm just going to put this on
Peter, is your
over
mouth
here.
watering looking at this? Are you allowed to eat stuff
Do you know
like
what?
this?
I'm actually gluten intolerant, so I can't. But do you know what? I'm eyeing up that bowl.
I'll have his
I'm
slice.
gonna lick the bowl,
I
the
was looking at
chocolate straight out of it.
You can, well, you could actually make this gluten-free with gluten-free flour
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
put some almonds in as well. So that's the cake. It might be a bit neat if you're
Okay.
doing it at home, but this is the best part. So you see all this scrap here?
Yeah.
This is decorating. So I got some black food colouring
We've got
and I
about a
just
minute and a
folded
half.
this in. Don't worry, folded this in and use a bit of cornflour to get wet. And this is my other top tip is you just need to cut out like it's kind of a whale or a diamond or not a teardrop shape.
Yeah.
But I actually cut out a little bit of cardboard that was left over from the box, so I got uniform eyes.
Oh,
and then a
okay.
little bit of water in the back. And if you are rolling this out, roll it out with corn flour because it's much easier. So a little mouth there, two little nose things here. Now, I didn't give anyone any details of the actual quantities of the recipe because I'm too sleep
So where can
deprived
people
remember.
go to get
So
that?
just go to Dr. Utker Baking, Facebook Ireland baking page.
While
You know.
you're finishing that, we have had some incredible ghost stories sent in to us. Sinead said, my grandmother's all-time favourite song was What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. A few weeks after she passed away, I went in to collect some things from the house. Just a few minutes before I left, her CD player randomly turned on and started playing that song. Whoa!
That's so scary. That's
I'm
freaky.
down the road. Gone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be going to be, like, I'm so freaked out with ghosty things. Freaks me out. So I'm just putting then these little bits along here for the stitches for the mouth. I have to cut in, I have to show you this before we run out of time.
Go on.
And if anyone missed all this, I did do a step-by-step video. So you can get that on the Dr. Utker Facebook page and also on their Instagram. Now look at that.
look at that.
Wow.
How cool are those layers?
That is.
You can choose any colour you want. You don't have to go with green. You can go with Halloween orange and you can put some grated zest in. But that is
Amazing.
delicious. And I'll give you the
That's why
saffron.
she's
I love that. I'm bringing that home.
Okay, that's all we've got time for tonight, folks. Huge thanks to all of our guests, to Amanda Ade, Danny Robbins, the brilliant Peter Stringer, and the equally brilliant Louise Lennox for the gorgeous cake.
I will be back with you tomorrow at 6 with Ray to catch up with broadcasting legend Anne Doyle and illusionist Keith Barry. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.